Hi, Dave from Rana Hills Physiotherapy. So today I want to talk about the Achilles, and sort of this week we'll have a look at the calf as well. So your Achilles tendon is a fairly common site of injury, sort of tendon injury, especially in over the age of 30, 35. Your masters athletes, it's pretty common amongst runners. And at the moment, if people haven't been doing a lot of exercise and then started running and started getting back into fitness, this tendon here can take a little bit of the brunt of the abuse. So what is your Achilles tendon? So your Achilles tendon is the tendon structure that three muscles at your lower leg join into. So the three muscles are, on the outside of your calf, the one that you can see and feel most visibly is your gastrocnemius. So it's quite a thick, powerful muscle, predominantly made of fast twitch fibers, so it's really good for powering you forward. It crosses from the back of the knee, so it comes from above the knee and then goes down in. So it can actually help to flex the knee, and it helps to point the foot as well. If you take the gastrocnemius off, then underneath that we've got another muscle called your soleus. It's a slow twitch postural muscle, so it's really good for endurance, long-term sort of activities, and it's predominantly made of slow twitch fibers. So these two muscles come in and they blend in together into the Achilles. And then the third muscle, it's a really small one, and some people, I think it's only present in about 90% of the population, 10% do without it. Very small muscle called plantaris. So it starts above your knee, and it's like a thick little fusiform structure, and then comes into a long, thin pencil-like cord, and it blends into the medial side of your Achilles here. So when it goes into there, so this is your Achilles tendon. So the Achilles tendon is using those three muscles that are working off it, and it attaches into your calcaneus or your heel bone here. Now, with Achilles problems, we can sort of break it into three different zones. So we've got the insertion, so insertional Achilles tendon, where the tendon joins into the bone. Now, this isn't like pure tendon that suddenly just attaches to the bone. What you find is like a transition zone here, it sort of blends. So we go from bone to a bony cartilage-like structure, then to a cartilage sort of tendinous structure, then more into a pure tendon structure. So it sort of transitions from there. This can be a source of pain in people. Sometimes you'll actually see people who've got what we call insertional tendinopathy. It might be a bump or a lump, which is sometimes unfortunately known as Haglund's deformity. But it's really just how the body just adapts to sort of protect the tendon. And then you come up, this is your mid-body portion of Achilles. This is just pure collagen, usually sort of made of type 1, which is a really tough kind of collagen. But when Achilles gets sore, they can become, instead of like laying down or turning over that really sort of strong type 1 collagen, it's more like a type 3 we'll see in spots in there, and that can indicate there's a poor healing process. And then you get where it blends into the muscle there, that's your musculotendinous junction. Now the other thing with the Achilles is you might find there's this space here, this isn't just an empty space, sitting behind here you have your Achilles bursa, and sometimes that can become inflamed and become a source of pain. So these are sort of like your four sites, and I would have to say that's our most common site there, mid-body. Then we tend to see a bit more insertional, and then it tends to be about Achilles bursitis. Musculotendinous ones tend to be a bit more traumatic in nature, and it might be somebody hopping or skipping. But the question is, so what does your tendon do? So your tendon it absorbs force and then it releases force. So it's like a spring or like an elastic band. So there's probably some people like long distance runners have a slightly different type of tendon sort of length, in whereby it can absorb an awful lot of energy over a long period of time, and then it releases that force. But it's sort of longer tendon. Stiffer tendons don't elongate or don't stretch as much, but they actually really push out the force an awful lot quicker. And the tendon can release force twice as fast as the muscle can. So essentially this is working like a rubber band. So, as a demonstration, when your foot touches the ground and then your heel comes down, it stretches the Achilles like a rubber band like that. And then when you start wanting to push off, again, then what will happen is it springs back in, and that releases energy, much like the rubber band going from a lengthened position to a shortened position. And that's a really energy efficient way of pushing you forward. Now, problem being is as we get older, collagen that gets replaced is when it's trying to turn over time to repair, tends to be a little bit weaker. And sometimes you might even feel like if you've had Achilles problems for a long time, you might feel some sort of bumps or lumps there. That's not actually scar tissue, that's the Achilles trying to get stronger. So it's actually laying down more collagen. And the way it does that is it lays down collagen almost like concentric rings, almost like how a tree lays down the rings of wood when you cut it down. So that's basically what your tendon does. So it's continuous with three muscles, It is like an elastic band where it stores and releases energy to allow you to propel forward, but it is also an active tissue, so you can actually get tendon stronger. So in the next video, what we'll do is we'll talk about potential treatments for that and how we can settle it down. Hope that was of use, and I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.